In chapter 34, the Department of Mysteries, it was a very tense chapter. So they started off getting on the Thestrals, and since only Harry, Luna, and Neville could see the Thestrals, they didn't really have a hard time getting on them. But Ron, Ginny, and Hermione, it's like getting on something you can't see. So they were um, just pretty, like Harry and Neville and Luna were already on theirs. Harry looked back and the other guys weren't on theirs yet, so Luna had to help them get on because they can't see the Thestrals at all, and they're kind of just going in blind. And so they get on the Thestrals, and Harry says to the one that he's on, just the entrance to the Department of Mysteries in London. And at first it doesn't nothing, and then it just jumps off, and he goes faster than he's ever felt like he's gone before, and they fly all the way to London in the cover of the night. And by the time they get there, it's early morning, and so they land very smoothly. Well, most of them, other than Ron, he kind of fell off his, but and they hop in that same telephone booth that he went down with Mr. Weasley before. So they all stuff into the telephone booth and dial the number that Harry remembered. I think 64422 or something like that. And the lady talks to them and says, "Why are you here?" All that stuff. Harry's like, "We're here to rescue someone at the Department of Mysteries." So then they get a little name badge, and Harry says, "Harry Potter Rescue Mission." And they go down there, and it's quiet this time. There's not really anything going on. And Harry notices that there's not really security at all either. He finds that weird. So they go down to the elevator for Department of Mysteries, and when they get to the floor, it's just like in Harry's dream. He sees that same black door that he's seen in his dream. So at this point, before they go through the door, Harry says one more time, maybe someone should be a lookout, and someone should stay back. And they're all like, "Why would we stay back? We're already here." But Harry at this point really still doesn't want them to come with him, but realizes they're already here, and it's inevitable at this point. Um, so they go in the room, and Neville closes the door, and at that point, when they close the door, the room starts to rotate a little bit, which is not what Harry remembers in his dream, because that didn't really happen in his dream. So that kind of throws him off guard, because then they realize the door they came in, they don't know which door they came in. So getting out is going to be tricky, but that's not important right now. Sirius is the important thing. So they just go and pick a door and they go in. First door they go in, it's like a room with a bunch of white spongy things in jars. Hermione realizes that they're brains, and they kind of get weirded out and be like, "Yeah, we should leave this room." So they don't stay in that room too long. Hermione marks the door with the X on it, just so they can remember which door they've gone in already. Next door they go in, there was some kind of archway, like with a veil on it. It was swinging, and it's kind of piqued their interest. Mostly Harry. He felt like he heard voices behind the door. Luna says she also heard voices, and Hermione was like, "Let's go," but they were just drawn to the archway. Ginny and Neville were also being drawn to the archway as well, and Harry was really, really drawn to this. He spent a lot of more time than it needed to in that room, just because Harry really wanted to get close, because he heard voices on the other side of this veil in this archway. Then Hermione was able to drag them all out, put an X in the door, and then Harry's like, "Okay, one more door." He's like, "I think this should be it," and something's telling him that this last door is the door they need to go in. So they go in that door, and it's exactly what he saw in his dream. The big room with a lot of small little like balls or eggs kind of thing, and they had some. Well, they looked different. Some like had this silvery stuff in it. Um, they walked through, and they noticed that there was numbers on there, and Harry remembered in his dream that it was number 97. So they were like 50 something when Hermione pointed it out. So they kind of went down and found 97. 97 was where Harry had seen Sirius in his dream. And they got down there hoping to hear some voices. Harry was just hoping to hear something, some indication that Sirius was there. And there was nothing there. And they realized all this time they ran to there, and maybe Sirius was never even here the whole time. And they didn't want to say it because, Harry was adamant that Sirius was being tortured and all that. So they didn't want to make Harry look bad. They didn't really say much, and Harry didn't really want to hear it. He kind of kept whispering, looking for a sign that maybe Sirius could be there. And then Ron pointed out that one of the, I'm going to call it like a globe, one of the globes had Harry's name on it. And Harry said, Harry, have you seen this? And it had a date from 16 years ago. And they were just looking at it. Harry picked it up. And at that point, when he picked it up, he heard a voice say behind him, "Good job, Potter. Now, when do you give that to me?"